Hi, everyone. This is Catherine Lang-Cline, and I am with Dianne Kelley today. And I am just so excited because, she is, got more than one company, which is freaking amazing to start with. But she also really gets this whole left brain, right brain, you got to stay creative sort of thing, too. So, with that, Dianne, tell us about your companies.
Okay, sure. I've been in the life and health insurance industry for a lot of years since I was 24, and we're not going to go there, okay? But
Wow.
yeah, so I started that, and then in 2005, I was working for other companies. In 2005, I started my own company, Sandbrook Benefits Group, which we call fondly Sandbrook Group. And so we have a life and health insurance agency. We specialize in working with small businesses and small business owners. And out of working with them over the years, I came to realize that they weren't paying attention to some of the things they need to pay attention to, and started working with them on succession and exit planning because
Mhm.
someday they will exit and it may not be voluntary. And
That's true.
the plan. So whether that means protecting the business with the life insurance or disability coverage or something like that, there's a lot of other working parts for them to protect the business along the way and also to get it ready to potentially sell someday if that's what they want to do. So I just got certified as an exit planner in February this year, and I've
Oh,
been
that's
working in that
wonderful.
space for about 3 years.
That makes perfect sense because you seem that to be the type of person that likes to always keep learning, always keep, improving, what else can I be doing sort of thing. And probably saw a little bit of a gap for your clients that you serve too, that it's like, if I get this, then I can serve them even better.
Absolutely. And what they don't know will hurt them. So
Oh,
it's an educational thing.
absolutely. Are you finding that that's like the really big thing that owners are kind of missing is that whole planning for the exit, planning for, obviously, getting disabled or something, things that we don't think about?
Yeah, absolutely. And the famous last words I hear a lot is, my business is my retirement plan. And I said, oh, and what does that look like? And
Yeah,
they either pull something out of blue sky that has no basis in reality, or there's a deer in the headlights say, well, I don't know.
right,
So,
right.
we got to take a hard look at the business, what they're doing. There are certain things that they can do over the years to increase value.
Hmm, hmm.
Value is irrelevant.
Right, right.
Nothing to do with the value.
Yes.
So, yeah, so they think that what they're bringing in is actually what their value is.
Yeah. Always that first surprise is guess what? Your company's not worth as much to someone else as it is to you.
We can change that. We can take the time.
That is true. Yeah, and I'm kind of sensing the path we're going to go down with this next question, but I'm going to ask anyway. So, when you were young, you had to do something as a kid that was super fun because we all did, and I'm really curious as to what you did that was either creative or fun, or you weren't. No one had told you yet that you had to be serious and get a job.
No, that's true. I think probably the most creative thing I did is I was always trying to pull the neighborhood kids together to perform and do shows. So, for instance, we had swing sets in the backyard, and I put together a Fourth of July thing with wagons and flags, and
Oh,
have the parents go over to watch the kids do stunts on the swing sets, like kind of like
oh,
gymnastics
yes,
on the
yes.
light side. Yeah. And then another favorite thing was roller skating. And in Tucson, where I grew up initially, we didn't have sidewalks. So the only
Oh,
place
so how
to
was
really
roller skating?
route was, and it was a double carport, so I always had my mom pull the cars out, and then the driveway and the carport were where we got to skate. But I would create little routines with the neighborhood kids, and then have parents come watch us. And I tried to charge them money too. Can I do that?
A true entrepreneur. How do I monetize this? Well, that's funny. But you know what I also like too, and this is kind of where I thought we were going to go too, and you touched upon it a little bit when you said, I got all the neighborhood kids together because I could totally see you as a child building relationships at a very young age and finding out,
ringleader.
yes, be the ringleader. I mean, that's a true entrepreneur for sure. Um, so I completely love that. And now we have little Dianne, and she, is starting to go to school, and she's trying to figure out, what she wants to be when she, I guess in your case, is in her early 20s. How did you get there to decide that you wanted to sell, insurance at such a young age? I love that
Yeah.
it was decided so young.
Well, I didn't really decide.
Okay. Okay.
So actually, in my college years, I spent going through to be a legal secretary. I think I'm
Yeah, yeah.
a frustrated lawyer. I would have gone to law school, but didn't want to spend all that time and money. So I studied to be a legal secretary. And out of the gate, my first experience with it was not pleasant. The attorneys I worked for were not nice
Okay.
and kind of soured me on that whole thing. And then living in Northern California, applied for a job and got about 6 months in, I decided I was on the wrong side of the desk.
Oh, nice.
So I saw what the agents were doing. Now, this was back in the 70s, and it was a very male dominated industry, and to a large degree still is.
I was going to ask that.
And yeah, all the agents were male. And when I voiced my desire to go into sales, I actually sent the general agent who's in charge of the state of Arizona an 8-page letter, which is basically a business plan.
Mm-hmm.
This is what
Mm-hmm.
I want to do. This is why I want to do it. This is how I want to do it.
Oh my gosh.
No response. So
Really?
yeah, yeah. So
What?
after about 2 weeks, I mustered up the courage to call him. Now, mind you, I'm in my early 20s, and this is a 67-year-old guy who runs the state of Arizona company. And I called him. I said, "Did you get my letter?" And he said, "Yes, I did." I said, and this is what he said to me: "There's no room for women in sales in my industry."
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've never heard that before. I didn't even know about the glass ceiling or that. It's like,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I already told you how I wanted to do it, why I
Mm-hmm,
wanted to
mm-hmm,
do it, and
mm-hmm.
shut it down.
Wow.
So long story
What did you
short,
do? What
another
did you do after that?
well, yeah, I work with understood the situation and referred me to a couple other companies. And I started in training with one company and just felt like they were just kind of not even paying attention to me. They
Right,
thought this
right.
person
Just
worked
like
for
a
me and
kind of
she did.
entertaining you, like, oh, there she is, you know?
And then my mom was working with somebody whose husband happened to be in the insurance. And I was complaining to her about my trials. And she says, "Oh, I'll have my husband call her." And I'm like, I don't want to go through all this again. But long story short, he introduced me to another company, and that's the company I started going.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And then at what point did you decide you wanted to go on your own?
Well, it was at a time when computers were starting to come out.
Mhm.
I became a single mom at the time with 2 little kids. Really didn't have the time, energy, or the money to set up my own shop.
Mhm.
So I affiliated with another company here in Tucson that a friend of mine had run. And we were in the employee benefit arena, which is great because it's daytime activity, allows me to
True. Yes, yes. Think about that.
then said it was recurring. So that's one of the big value builders for any business is
Mhm. Mhm.
recurring. I like the idea that I could build a book of business and get paid on it continually as long as I took care of the client. So I did that, and then the owner died, and the new people coming in
Mhm.
quickly sold us to a publicly traded company.
Oh,
And the
wow.
famous last words were, "Nothing's going to change."
Can't help but laugh at that.
You know, you know, for 6 years, but decided that's not who I was, and that's not what I wanted, how I wanted to run my business. And so I jumped ship and left a $250,000 book of business behind to pay off.
Wow. Look at you. Well, Diane, and then what happened?
I started me, and it's scary. And I have used my 401k money to survive, but I have it. So fortunately, that got me started. And then I had a 2-year non-compete, so I couldn't take any clients with me. So I had to start
Oh,
all over at zero.
yep.
Not something I'd really planned on at that point in time. But 2 years later, when the non-compete expired, I did get the lion's share of the clients back.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful.
But yeah, so and that was in 2005. So our company's going on 18 years old, and that's the life and health insurance
I
agency.
started my business in 2005, so it must have been a great year to start
There
businesses
you go.
for women.
Yeah, and we had to go through '08.
Yes, we did. And then a pandemic, and then they keep talking about a recession, coming up. And I'm like, no, no, no more.
Yeah,
We've done our fair share.
yeah, yeah. Yesterday, and the founder of that particular organization was talking about all the setbacks that they've had to overcome, including the pandemic lately and everything. And she says, just expect it.
Yeah.
Just expect
That,
it. It's
that,
going to happen. It's
just
not
be
like
ready.
you're
Just
going
be
to have
ready.
this smooth cruise forever.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I do have to ask you, because you said, when you started your business, it was a little scary, but did you kind of always feel like you'd figure it out?
Well, I really felt I didn't have a choice
Okay.
because I wasn't going to go work for somebody again. My favorite line is that I'm unemployable.
Me too.
Yeah,
I always thought
there's no
that
way
too.
I
I'm
could go
like, I
back.
am the worst employee.
Yeah. Outside the box. So what more I could bring to the client, what I could do,
Yes.
but they
Yes.
this little box. This is your role, and this is what you're
Yes.
supposed to do, and you can't do anything outside the box. And I'm like, frustrated,
Right.
because I
Right.
saw more.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. And that, I think, was kind of inspired by that kid finding out, figuring out what was best for, you're going to, do the gymnastics, and you're going to do this, and you're going to pull the wagon and things like that. And, just kind of, figuring out how to get the best out of people, which was not the normal thing. Normally, maybe they would have just rode their bikes, but you kind of leveled it up and made something, we're going to put on a show. Exactly, exactly. All right. So today, do you do anything that kind of keeps that side of you, your creativity, just kind of still going? I mean, I've had gardeners, I've had painters. What is your thing that you do on the side that just kind of gets you still charged up, and then you can apply it to your business?
Yeah, this is interesting because working with business owners on succession and exit planning, what I find is a lot of entrepreneurs, their business becomes not what they do, but who they are. It
Oh
actually becomes
yes,
their
yes,
identity.
yeah.
And they can't get out of it.
Hmm.
So you have to kind of start picking in the brain and saying, if you weren't working, what would you like to do, or what did you give
Yes,
up?
that is my
Right?
favorite question. Yes.
Yeah. What did you give up business? And I used to golf. Well, what would it take for you to start golfing? Well, I guess I could go on Saturday mornings and get it on the calendar.
Yes.
So I think a lot of times we get in our own way
Yes.
and we think we have to keep our nose to the grindstone, which in reality, we're really not doing ourselves any favors and we're not
No.
helping our company because you'll burn out and you'll lose that creativity.
Right.
And then it becomes a job.
Exactly. Who wants that? I was reading, there was an actual study done that if you spend too much time on that left side of your brain, you start getting depressed. And I think that that is very, very true, because when you think about people who have worked, all they do is work, or all they think about is, work, or, how to, you know,
Make
schedule
more
it,
money. It's
make
all
more
about
money and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, you start getting depressed, and you have to, I think medically, I'm going to go as far as saying, visit that right side of the brain, just to, balance it all out, because could probably figure out, creatively figure out how to do more, um, and so you don't have to work so hard, and how, I'm going to be creative. I'm going to figure out how I can hire another person. I'm going to figure out how I can, work more efficiently, or I'm going to figure out, but if you're stuck in the same thing, like you said, stay in the box, stay in the box, stay in the box, it's never going to get better.
It is
So
depressing.
it is depressing just talking about it right now. So what are you golfing on Saturday now, or what have you
No,
chosen to do to step away for a little bit?
golf is one of the things I do, although I have had friends encourage me to do that, which I may still do. But I have a lot of outside interest in it, and even in the work day, if I find I hit the wall, I get up and I go for a walk. I go
Yes,
out in the yard,
it's such
love
a
to
simple way to
garden.
get started. Yep.
You gotta get away to
Hmm.
come back to it and refocus. Especially when stuff doesn't go the way you had hoped it had gone. You just need to take that deep breath and
Yep.
give yourself some space to reflect and that's time working only to the point where the right side can click in and help the left side.
Absolutely. Like let's step away and rethink this. Let's go into that whole creative let's just not just problem solve, let's do creative problem solving. And really
Exactly.
maybe reinvent something and how to make something better. Yeah. So I always think that, taking a walk is the perfect way to get started. And I always tell people, and if you don't believe that, think about all the great ideas you have gotten when you're in the shower because you have just stepped away from work and you are doing something else.
Women, so, swimming you get a little bit lonely sometimes, but it's also a time where everything just kind of kicks in. Or ironically, I find when I get in my car to go drive somewhere, it's like some of the clutter starts falling away and clarity starts coming through.
Yes.
So just
Yes.
out of the environment. I mean, even sometimes instead of sitting at my desk or in my office, I take my laptop and I go sit out on the patio.
Yeah, and that's another great way to kind of like if you're like I got to get this done, I got to get this done. Just change your location, and if it's outside, that's even better because you guess what? You're now hearing birds. You may be hearing traffic. And that's the stuff that starts igniting that right side again. And like I said, just kind of gets you out of that zone we tend to fall into, where we can spiral into some sadness, which we were trying to. Yeah.
You don't want to stay in that rut. I mean, everybody falls into a rut now and then, and you just kind of, like I said, hit the wall. But you need to step away and give you that space. And I think that coming out of an employment situation, for me initially at least, there was a lot of guilt. So
Yes.
I had to really deal with the guilt of I should be working, I should be
Yes.
working, you know. And I had to realize that I was doing myself and my business a favor by stepping back when I hit that.
And you get a great perspective too, because you get to deal with a lot of owners. So you probably get to see a lot of this stuff repeated over and over again and can kind of just tell people, maybe you should take a break. Maybe you should find a hobby.
Yeah, and I try to help them figure out where they can clear that out. To your point, like you said too, to get your team running so that they're doing the day-to-day stuff and the things that you shouldn't be doing as a business owner. And that's
Yes.
another big mistake that business owners make is they think that they have to do everything themselves.
Yes. Yes.
Even if they hire people, they're overseeing them and they're micromanaging them. And that's
Hmm.
what gets out of the day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
So I worked really hard to get my team running in the life and health insurance. And I told them, you're my succession plan.
Yeah.
So, you're, and I've given them authority and they might mess up or they might be frustrated, but they know that I'm supporting them.
100%, 100%. And then also what happens too is you as an owner get to spend more time in that thinking visionary space and start making even bigger movements with your company because if you are constantly in that day to day, and I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here too, the company can't grow. But if you have that time to take the walk, to get in the car and just like I said, a very base, or pick up a really great creative hobby that you might have done when you were a kid, then the big ideas come, and then that's really when the magic starts happening. I'm trying to think of something for you that would be like an equivalent to what you did as a kid that you could kind of pick up today, because I want you to do more than take a walk. I don't know, do you join a dance troupe, or do you?
Group, which also becomes social group. So, I meet people afterwards, we go out for wine or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
and just collaborate with other business owners. And, we might,
yeah,
everybody has a personal life, and everybody needs to have people that they're connected to in that realm too.
yeah.
It's just not all work. So
And
I think that work hard, play hard.
I was just going to use the word play. And I think that we need to, make time for that. Like I said, if you're going to dig your heels in the sand and say, you know what, I'm not a creative person, make time for play. And that's your golf, that may be the swimming, that may be, something else like, going out pickleball, and I have a, like a little clinic coming up to see if I want to play or not. So I'm like, I I I think I might like it, and I'm like, this could be, enough activity for me, if I as long as I'm playing doubles, that could take me well into my retirement.
So
Oh, yes.
smaller,
Hmm.
the towns are smaller, and for us, it's inside because it's
Yes.
right in Arizona in the summer, right?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, the local YMCA has a great program, and it seems to be all people of a certain age, and
Hmm.
we just have great fun, and it's another social outlet.
Right, right. So make time for play. That is so very important. Well, Diane, I have loved, loved, loved talking today and finding out more about your business and how it all came to be. I think it's a really great story, and I am hoping that my listeners I'm hoping that my listeners also really enjoy it too, because it was really great. And I thought you brought a lot of insight to the table as far as how people can kind of spark both sides of the brain. I like to refer to it as, if you're trying to run a business and you're only using one, it's like using one leg to try and get out of a chair.
It's great.
Use both legs, use the whole brain, because it'll just be easier. It'll just be easier. Yes.
Created to be creative beings, you know,
Yes.
and to be innovative. I guess. And very honestly, I think that we've done a disservice of pigeonholing people into thinking they have to get a job,
Hmm.
and they have to be born to these jobs. And the jobs, many times, like in my situation, don't allow for the creativity.
Right.
People
Right.
stifle that.
Right. And I could definitely see that in your space too, where, they try and keep the reins really tight on, this is insurance and we have to follow the rules. It's like, but what if? What if we did
Yeah,
something else? Or in your case, how you handle building relationships. I think that is a really important thing too, because, granted, there are a lot of rules when it comes to insurance or banking or, the law and things like that. But in that case, I think you could find that space in the relationships you build and helping people and things like that. So there's definitely, you don't have to think about it in a, like, I have to come in guns blazing every time. Sometimes it's just that simple stuff, like, making sure you get back to people and really listening and stuff like that, that are going to really expand your business too. So again, you got to be
yeah.
creative.
Like, what
Yes.
clients are experiencing, and can you bring in a product or service or a resource to help them fill the gap? And it's
Yes.
adding value.
Oh, I love that too. It's like just coming to them and just saying, okay, this has nothing to do with insurance, but have you ever thought about?
It's like I saw the gap in what
Hmm.
they work for to protect their businesses. They're working hard. They're trying to build this entity, but they didn't have the opportunity or somebody guiding them to make sure that they're protecting their legacy along the way.
Awesome. Well, Diane, you're doing great work. You're helping people and you're you're taking care of them, and that's just the greatest gift you can give people. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much
Well,
for your
I
time
love it.
today. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time today. I
you.
really, really appreciate this.
Thank you.